This is the Detroit Public School League, folks. We haven't left out some of those other suburban teams and those other Detroit teams like St. Martin DePorts. But here it is once again, starting from the top. It's Detroit King, number 1, Henry Ford, number 2, Denby, number 3, Cass Tech, number 4, Chatsey, number 5, Pershing, 6, Northern, 7, Cooley, 8, Central, 9, and Renaissance, you're number 10. You cracked the Big Daddy's top 10. Congratulations. And this week's game of the week, check this out. Cooley and Henry Ford will play the first game, and Denby and King. So you're going to have 2 great games, and there you see it right there. 2 great games coming your way this weekend. Come on out and support your local high school sports teams each and every week. That's not only football, but girls basketball too. They have a season going on right now. Unfortunately, these 2 seasons collide, and hey, football is a dominating sport right now in the high school sports arena. But the girls basketball, they deserve some just credit, and we'll get to you. We haven't forgotten you.
Okay, what we're going to do? Let's go to the phone line.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Barden Cable's Comcast Cable's coverage of Detroit Public School League football, and it's Detroit Cooley.
Hello.
As you see, we're already in progress, and Detroit Henry Ford in the brown jerseys and Cooley in the white. And hey, like we said, this game got started with some vicious hitting on the kick returns there.
Oh, great. Cooley's team came down and they covered the kick real well. That's exactly the way you want to hit. You want to set the tone of how your defense is going to play for the day. Came down, laid a nice hit on the return man, thus setting the tone of how they're going to play defense this afternoon.
We're going to set this starting offense for you for the Trojans of Henry Ford, and they're coached by Coach Mike Marshall, a graduate of Southwestern High School, also a player up at the Michigan State University for the Spartans, where he played defensive back. Was a great quarterback in the PSL, and his offense, not a super passing attack, but he will attack you with different versions of the of an offset I formation. He'll go power left, power right, and he likes to run the ball wide.
It's interesting that a quarterback who loved to throw and who could throw, like as I mentioned in the open, one of the best throwing quarterbacks to come through the PSL, has somewhat of a conservative offense where he's running the ball a great deal more so than he passed, and he would even run that type of offense. But he's been successful, so we'll see exactly what his game plan is for today.
I said an offset I, but it's more of a T formation, an offset T formation.
Exactly.
And it's offset to the left right now. Shaun Black with the ball, rolling out to his left. This is what they love to do, try to stretch the defense. Shaun Black picking up some good yardage after the big penalty, and he's close to another first down for the Trojans.
On this first series, I like the athletic ability of Henry Ford Trojan skill position. As sitting up here watching as a former running back myself, I noticed a couple of times where I thought the ball should go, and lo and behold, that's exactly where the ball carried taken. These guys seem to read very well. Their second effort to keep their legs moving seem to be very well coached skill positions on the Henry Ford Trojans.
So a first down for the Trojans on the 41-yard line of the Cooley Cardinals. Running straight ahead
Give to the first back through. Henry Ford, a school that never really had big linemen. And my hat's off to Mike Marshall, because like you said in the open, does an outstanding job with little fellas. I know a lot of coaches in and around the city don't mind coaching those little, quick linemen.
You got to have speed, you got to have strength. Size is one thing, and then size is helpful sometimes if you know how to use it. I'm looking here on the sideline for Henry Ford. I see his big kid, number 73, on the sideline. It's not even in the game. He looks very large from here, but obviously he's not playing to the point where Coach Marshall thinks he should be in there.
Third down and much more. As breaking into the secondary, running back Clarence Gwynn picking up another first down.
It's a nice run. He picked a hole. He kind of hesitated for a minute till the hole opened up. That's a back that knows how to read. You can be a smart running back. A lot of people think a running back position is instinctive and you just do it just by accident or it just kind of comes to you. You can be a very smart running back. Marcus Allen is one of the smartest running backs I've ever seen.
Offset T formation to the right. First down and 10. Ball on the 12. Black will keep it and run right. And he's knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals.
I see what Mike Marshall is trying to do here. He's got a team that's got very talented, skilled position people. What he tries to do is get them on the perimeter. They're very good in the open field. They have team speed. He's going to put his skilled position people against your skilled position people. Run you wide, then pop it up the middle with a quick hitting fullback. He's going to stretch it out on the perimeter, let you open that gap up in the middle, then stick the running back win up in there.
I find it interesting a lot of times in scouting different teams on how much high school teams have to do in order to figure out the opponents week after week.
Yeah, football is a very high-tech from a coaching aspect. You got to find out their tendencies when they get in this formation, what are they going to run? When they get in that formation, what are they going to run? And then you got to hope that they run it.
Black is rolling left. He threw that one incomplete. Pass intended for Arnell Carmichael. Incomplete. That would bring us a third down and 8. Ball on the 10-yard line. 9:16 here in the first quarter of play. It's Detroit Henry Ford and Detroit Cooley. PSL action coming to you here on Comcast Cable TV 6.
Ford looking to get on the scoreboard here early in the first series. They're on the 8-yard line and looking like they're about to score. Even if they don't get any points on this drive, they have established their offense and doing what they want to do. They move the ball pretty briskly down the field.
Black with a little counter play. Nice little move. Breaks a couple tackles in the backfield. And that was Marquise Wallace on the carry for Detroit Henry Ford. Here's a look at the Cooley defensive unit. Duncan, Williams, Johnson, Barnett, Jay Williams at free safety, Snipes and Hollis at linebacker. And there's the rest of the unit for Detroit Cooley, the defensive unit. Right now, their backs are against the wall because Henry Ford with 4th and 1 on the 1. Here's the give, and the defense rises to the occasion.
Looks like they stopped him. 4th down play. Like they have stopped him.
That time, the Cooley Cardinal defense got a pretty good surge in the middle.
They did hold him. This should be a mental lift for both squads, and I'll explain what I mean by that. The Trojans moved the ball downfield at will. They traveled about 60-some-odd yards to get down inside the 5-yard line. But to have a deep goal line stance like the Cardinals just did, it's got to be a lift for you to know that you bend a little bit, but you didn't break, you didn't give up any points. Let's see what Cooley's offense have for the Trojans defense.
So Cooley will take over on the 3-yard line as the defensive unit for the Cardinals really stepped up their game and held on the goal line situation. Here's the quarterback, almost a fumble on the play. The Cardinals starting quarterback is Wally Williams on the keeper. And here's a look at the Cooley offense. Johnson at right end. Richmond at left guard. Hollis, Black, McGreer, and there's the rest of it. Duncan, Williams, Barnett, and the man in the backfield, Deion Grubbs, one of the fastest guys probably in the Midwest. Mr. Excitement when he gets the ball. 2nd down and 8. Cooley running straight ahead. Flags on the play. We'll see what the call is. Last year, Deion Grubbs. Let's talk a little bit about this young man. He was an all-city, first-team all-city candidate for the Cooley Cardinals. One of the premier track guys in the city.
Grubbs can absolutely fly. He's got 4.4, some people say 4.3 speed in the 40-yard dash. Breaks out in the open, he's going to be very hard to come get.
There's a look at the Henry Ford defense. Dotson, Hand, Harvey, Allen, Brooks, Gwynn, and Barksdale. Black, a lot of guys going both ways. Black, Wallace, and there you see it. 7:28 here in the first quarter. 2nd down, and let's see if they got the first down here after that carry. It's going to bring us a 3rd and short for the Cardinals. Ball on the 13-yard line. Big play here for the Henry Ford defense. Williams giving the ball to Deion Grubbs. He's going to be close to the first down.
Grubbs sitting up there pretty good. Looks like he's got the first down. Cooley Cardinals being able to keep this drive alive, which is very important. They're very deep back into their own territory. They need to get at least a couple of first downs before they turn the ball over.
Troy Cooley coming into this contest 1-1 with a loss to Chippewa Valley. First down and 10 to give to Grubbs. That time good team defense by the Trojans.
Grubbs hits it up in there pretty good, as you can see here on the ground level. Grubbs needs to get a little bit lower right there. He's giving his body up just a little bit too much. You don't want to take that kind of shot throughout a 4:40 game. He needs to get a little bit more body lean coming forward. He can get positive yardage going forward. You never want to have a running back coming forward and have his direction change and get negative yardage.
That was Watson on the stop for Henry Ford. Here's the give to Grubbs again. Here's the type of running back you just keep giving him the ball, and sooner or later he'll break one.
He's their workhorse. They're going to make sure to get it up on his arms. They rode him in here. They're going to make sure they ride out on him. Good look at Grubbs there. A back like that, you have to get him the ball. With that kind of speed, you're going to catch the defense napping. Sooner or later, you have a mental lapse, and that's just on any level. And a guy like that, when he finds a defense that's napping and they get a little quick hold, he can exploit it and beat through it at the blink of an eye.
3rd down and 5. Grubb trying to go outside and around the corner, and he may be close to another first down.
There's a look at Grubbs. The Cooley Cardinals taking a page out of the Trojan offense, trying to get their skilled people, Deion Grubbs in particular.
There's Coach Gary Sharp on the sideline. The man who has battled a whole lot there.
Yeah, this football game was a minor battle to him. Some of the things he's dealt with in his life. 4th down, like they're going to punt the ball here.
Cooley gets off a pretty decent punt.
Nice punt.
And it takes a Cooley bounce. And it'll stop right at the 29-yard line of Henry Ford.
See, number one, the return guy for Henry Ford, Carmichael, what he's got to understand is that whether you decide if you're going to run the ball or not is immaterial. You must catch the punt. If you get over there and you find out the pressure's down on you, fair catch the football. If you think you got room running back, but you must catch the ball. As we've seen there, the ball hit on the 40-yard line, then took a bounce and bounced back to another 11 yards. So they lost 11 yards on that play. They could have very easily been at their 40-yard line if, in fact, he at least fair catch the football.
So Henry Ford takes over at the 29-yard line. Shaun Black, split backfield. Here's the give to number 2. That's Keel Watson on the carry for Detroit, Henry Ford. Henry Ford had a big victory in their first week against Utica Ford. Anytime you go outside the city boundaries and you pick up a team like Utica Ford to play in your very first game, here's a team that's ranked in the state, and they've done a very good job of coming from behind victory for the Henry Ford Trojans in that game.
That was a huge victory. I wish I could have been there.
Here is the give off the left side to Clarence Gwynn. Picked up some good yardage there.
Going back to that game with Henry Ford and Utica Ford, they were down by 2 or more touchdowns late in the third quarter. So to be able to come back on the road that late in the game is a tremendous character builder for the Henry Ford Trojans, because it's enough trying to come back at home, but they were out in foreign territory and had enough gumption as a team to stick together and not stop fighting and to be able to come back and take that victory on someone's field like that.
3rd and 1. And Gwynn gets the call again, trying to get outside, does a good job at turning the corner, and is finally brought down by number 21, Jonathan Williams.
An excellent run. That's a good read by Gwynn. The play was initially going to hit inside, and as you can see here from the ground level, hit inside. It wasn't there, so what Gwynn decided to bounce it outside. He followed his blockers right there. As you see, he wasn't going to let any arm tackle bring him down. Lowered his shoulder and kept going down the sideline. Good run by Trojan tailback Gwynn.
Slot left, split backfield. Running right again, the Henry Ford Trojans having some success turning the corner. Keel Watson on the carry.
It appears that the Trojans have found something lacking in the Cardinal defense. The left outside linebacker for the Cooley Cardinals is obviously not getting contained because they're going around that left end all day long. Here we see them going around the end right there again. Another look at Keel Watson coming around right in. This outside linebacker down here for the Cooley Cardinals is not having contained.
Here's a give to Watson again. And he battled that time and picked up some good yardage. That's 2nd and 3rd effort.
Good job by Watson. They're going up the middle. They've been exploiting the perimeter so much they decided to go back up the middle.
Second down and 5. Ball on the 47-yard line. When you're talking Henry Ford, you always talk of good backs. Ronnie Woolfolk, excellent quarterback from some years ago. Leon Merritt.
Exactly.
Mondale Bright. Here is Shaun Black trying to turn the corner and does. Nice stop that time outside by the linebacker there for Detroit Cooley.
Let's watch this replay here. What we'll see is the outside linebacker for Cooley, number 80, does not get contained. You see him get caught up inside right there and he's hooked. That allows the quarterback to come, the running back to bounce outside. The outside linebacker for the Cooley Cardinals must get upfield and have containment. He's been allowed time and time again people to get around outside of him. It's outside linebacker number 80, Jarrell Whitaker, is going to have containment against this Trojan offense getting around outside of him. Now they decide to go back inside. He can't fall asleep because I guarantee they'll come back outside again.
The ultimate ball control offense,
to say the least.
Yeah, it's been exemplified by the Henry Ford Trojans and Coach Mike Marshall. I know I mentioned in our open that he's one of the best coaches I've seen who does almost everything from ground level. And what I mean by that is, hey, he has no one in the box or in the press box spotting for him or talking to him or in his ear. He does everything from ground level, and that's difficult just to say that. Black going to the corner of the end zone, and that one's incomplete.
You figure they have to go to the air sooner or later. They've been drawing the defense up with being successful on the ground. They went up the top that time. However, he overthrew wide receiver in the end zone.
Pass intended for Arnell Carmichael. That was thrown just a little too far. Shaun Black, a left-handed quarterback. Here he is again.
See the ball overthrown and out of bounds. Had he caught it, he'd been out of the end zone.
just overshot the intended target right there. Minute 48 here in the first quarter. Second down and 10. Ball on the 19 of Detroit Cooley. And here comes Henry Ford. Student body left. Black looking for some room and finding just a little seam on the outside.
We go with Black again, trying to exploit the perimeters of the Cooley Cardinal defense. Very, very fast, and he reads his block very well.
Had an opportunity early in the week to watch Detroit Cooley prepare for this Henry Ford team, and Coach Sharp addressed the issue of speed, and that's exactly what he told me. It's about who's going to have the fastest people out there.
You can coach a lot of things, but speed is one thing you can't coach, at least on the football field. I have some different opinions about coaching speed on track. However, you have to make sure that if you got skilled people that have speed, you got to get them the ball, you got to get them out to space and let them use the speed.
The Cooley Cardinals almost forcing a fumble on that play. But Henry Ford, I believe, retains the ball.
Jeff, this is a fast quarter.
Yes, it is.
It's only 45 seconds left, and what we found out is when you run the ball, hasn't been a lot of penalties. I think just one penalty thus far, and when you keep the ball on the ground and don't pass as much, the game goes a lot faster. We're just about at the end of the first quarter right now. As you can see, it's only 26 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Fourth down and 3. Ball on the 14. Black looking to throw into the end zone and finding an open receiver, possibly for a first down. Anthony Barksdale on the reception for Henry Ford.
Difficult throw for Black. As you can see him here rolling to his right, being a left-hand quarterback, has to cross his body and throw it. Nice catch by the wide receiver out there, was able to maintain it and pull it in.
And the clock keeps on ticking here in the first quarter. And I don't think they'll have opportunity to get a play off with only a second left. And yes, that's going to do it for the first quarter of play. Your score, Detroit Henry Ford 0, Cooley 0. Henry Ford threatening to score here. First down and goal. Here's the give to Gwynn. Gwynn has 7 carries so far in this first half. Gwynn's not a first half.
Gwynn's not a back that's going to come down off an arm tackle at the first hit. He keeps his feet very well, moves very well after he makes contact. He's always moving forward, which you want to see out of a running back to make sure he's getting positive yardage all the time.
Gwynn has 7 carries so far for about 40 yards. So he's been the guy that they've been going to the most, carrying the ball.
That kind of average, I'd keep going to him.
Yes. Offset wing formation to the left. Here's Black trying to get to the corner, puts the brakes on. Fine move, it dances his way. And let's see, does he get in? No. Yes, he does.
Outstanding run. One outstanding run. I don't want to give all the credit to Black, nor do I want to take anything away from him. The Cooley Cardinal defense did an excellent job by beating in terms of perimeter. They saw Black tuck the ball under his arm and take off for the corner, as you can see right here. He's sprinting for the corner, but Cooley's defense gets out there. They're not going to let it get outside. But what he did when he cut back, he also had some blockers right there who were able to set up the wall for him, allow him to cut back inside. But he never stopped running. He kept his feet going. He kept driving. Got close enough to get the ball over the goal line. Great run by Black, the quarterback. Great execution by the Henry Ford Trojan offense.
Now the Trojans will set up and go for the 2-point conversion. Lone back in the backfield. Here's the give to Gwynn. Makes it 8-0. Detroit Henry Ford. And you're absolutely right, Stan, about the ability to cut back. Really proved that he could get into the end zone there. That made him get into the end zone when he cut back.
Exactly, because as I mentioned before, Cooley's defense had gotten to the perimeter to beat him to the corner and was kind of waiting for him, but he was able to cut back against the grain with a couple of key blocks, and they were able to spin his way and drive to the end zone. There's a picture of Black right there. I'm sorry, it's not Black. That's Gwynn. There is Mr. David Sneed, or Dr. David Sneed, Superintendent of Detroit Public Schools.
Very strong backer. Doesn't miss too many football games down here, does he?
Former coach at Detroit Central High School. It's good to see someone at the top who understands the importance of sport and athletics, in the school level, keeping kids off the street, getting them interested in extracurricular activity.
And understands that, hey, football sets the tone for the rest of the school year.
It sure
in
does.
most of these schools.
It sure does.
Henry Ford ready to kick off after scoring the first touchdown of this contest. Your score 8-0. And back deep for Detroit Cooley is Ronald Duncan, set to receive this one. This is a short kick, bounces down and goes out of bounds right at the 1. As Duncan lets it roll out, and let's see, the Trojans might have to kick this one over.
I'm pretty sure they're going to do that unless they bring it out to the 20-yard line. Not really sure how they're going to rule that. It was very cool. We don't have a pylon in the end zone, so it's very difficult to see. Did it go through the end zone or did it go out of bounds? I'm assuming it went out of bounds because we do have a flag there. The official has thrown.
And they are bringing it back. And Henry Ford will kick it over. Detroit Cooley, like we said, Chippewa Valley, they fell by a score of 35-12, losing to them. And regrouped in week 2 and got on track. But then they have to face Detroit Henry Ford. And I believe Cooley will take the ball. It looks like they're going to mark it at the 40.
I'd like to get a ruling on this. I'm not really sure exactly what the call was. My assumption was that when the ball was kicked out of bounds, intended against the kicking team. You know that Cooley don't want the ball inside the 5-yard line.
Oh, they're going to mark it off. They're going to give Cooley the ball, and they're going to have some excellent field position. They finally place it at the 35-yard line.
It appears that they may have walked the penalty off from where the point where the ball was kicked. That's the only thing I can think of.
Or 15 from the 20.
That could have been, that very well could be the case, yeah, exactly. Because as I count here, 15 yards from where it kicked, they only put it back to the 15. Let's put it back to the 50.
I formation for the Cardinals. The give to Deion Grubbs. And good defense that time. As the linebacker from Henry Ford stepped up and made a pretty decent hit. That was Anthony Barksdale.
Cooley's defense is very well aware of the speed of Deion Grubbs and not letting him outside and not giving the opportunity to start running. They're going to have to do that all day long because, as I mentioned, Grubbs is the type of back. He breaks out in the open. It's goodbye.
Tough guy to contain. Slot left. I formation for the Cardinals. Grubb to tailback. Here's the give again. Grubb had a hole there, but it closed in a hurry.
Closed very fast.
When you talk about Deion Grubb, when you talk about some numbers, in the first contest, he piled up 235 yards. And that was against Chippewa Valley. In the second contest against Detroit Northwestern, he racked up 155 yards. And some other impressive numbers. In the 100-yard dash, he's a 10.5. In the 220, he's a 21.5. In the 40, he's a blistering 4.3.
That's flying. That's absolutely flying.
Split backfield. Williams back to pass. Looking for the screen pass. Grubb has the escort service. Cuts it back.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
And look out.
That was an excellent reception by Grubb. It wasn't a very easy pass to catch. I thought they set the screen up very well. What we saw there is the screen pass where it appears that Cooley Cardinals going to go downfield. You can see it right here on the replay. It's an excellent catch, one by Grubbs, even pulling it in. He had his blockers out front, and then see he's cutting back against the grain. And you can see that good knee lift and that good stride on him. You see how he's moving very fast and trying to get upfield. Good offensive play by the Cardinals from Cooley.
First down for the Cardinals. Ball on the 47-yard line of Detroit Henry Ford. I formation. Wide out, split high to the left. Here's the give to Grubb. Trying to turn the corner. It does successfully. Deion Grubbs on that screenplay with the opposite of all his blockers. I didn't realize he wanted to cut it back, but I guess he realized what he wanted to do.
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to criticize the guy where he wants to run with the football, because obviously it's a little bit safer sitting up here where we are. But I agree with you that time. It appears that the blockers are on the left side of the field. He decided to cut it all the way back over to the right side. Deion Grubbs is getting a work today. As you see, he's kind of breathing rather hard there. He had the ball almost on every play that Cooley has had possession. Good fake. Good fake.
Yes. And Williams, plenty of room on the left side. Williams looking for the end zone. Cooley gets in for the touchdown.
Excellent call. Excellent call. As I mentioned, I was just talking about how many times Deion Grubbs had gotten the ball. And you see the play action fake to Grubbs brought at least 7 to 8 defenders trying to tackle him because they assumed he was going to get the ball. He had been getting the ball all the other occasions, so that caused Cooley's defense to come in. As you can see right here, there's Coach Mike Marshall trying to call upstairs to find out what went wrong, because he didn't expect that. His defense had been playing well thus far in defending Grubbs, and he didn't expect that to happen. It's a very upset head coach for the Henry Ford Trojans, Mike Marshall.
Deion Grubbs draws a lot of attention, but looks like they're going to walk this one back. So nullify, are they going to nullify the touchdown? Let's see.
As you can see right here, here's a replay. There's a play action fake to Grubbs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 people trying to tackle Grubbs. You see the quarterback keeps it and bends the corner on the left side, gets a great block. I wonder if they're going to call a clip, and I'm trying to see if I can find it here. I don't see it there. I don't know what the call was. Quarterback Williams made a nice scamper down the sideline. We haven't gotten the ruling yet, but it appeared that it may have been a clipping of some sort, or a holding call. Brought the ball back downfield.
Wally Williams turned the corner, had plenty of room to scamper into the end zone for 42 yards. So wiped that touchdown out. It was a 42-yard run, but the penalty brings it back. And it'll make it 2nd down and 6 for the Cardinals instead of big 6 on the scoreboard. Notice in that last play, the entire defense, practically, of Detroit Henry Ford over-pursued and went towards Deion Grubbs. He didn't have the ball.
And it's interesting, when you have the reputation that a Deion Grubbs have, that's the only way that you can make that play successful. The play action to fake the Grubbs brought a number of defenders over to try to stop him. That opened up the lane down the outside for quarterback Williams to run down the sideline and scamper into a touchdown. Had they not had that illegal block of some type, it would have obviously been a touchdown.
That gives the Henry Ford Trojans a sigh of relief. So Coach Mike Marshall can get back on the phone and talk with the guy upstairs and make some adjustments.
They're going to be very careful about play action fake to Grubbs, but I guarantee you they'll still keep an eye on it.
2nd down and 1 for the Cardinals. Split backfield. Williams dropping back. Looking deep, trying to go for 6 right away. Intercepted. Intercepted by Arnell Carmichael. That time the Cardinals trying to get it all back at one time.
You got to be careful about when you want to go deep. Here we can see it on the replay right here. Quarterback drops back to pass. He threw directly into coverage. You had the safety back there along with the cornerback covering the wide receiver. And he just played center field on it. He just waited for the ball to drop. As you can see, there's 2 defenders right there covering, and the safety back there by himself, number 1, Carmichael. As he trips right there, and he had a little more running room. Carmichael also plays wide receiver, as you can see right there on offense. Bad decision by the Cooley Cardinal quarterback.
Henry Ford takes over on the 18-yard line. Black with some room. Black trying to scamper down the sideline. Picks up a 1st down for the Henry Ford Trojans.
There we go with the Trojan offense with Black exploiting the perimeter of the Cooley Cardinal defense. what they're finding out is the Cardinals' outside linebackers and defensive tackles slash ends are not getting upfield. They are allowing Black to get around the corner, and with his speed, he's going to get at least 5 or 6 yards to carry. There he's got about 12 or 13 yards to hit for first down.
Pickup of 24 for Shaun Black. First down, ball on the 44-yard line. Barksdale in motion. 2 receivers split out to the top I formation to give to the first back through. And he picks up some good yardage there. And another first down for the Trojans.
Nice north and south run for the Trojan fullback. As you can see, they're going outside and then they're going inside. They just went outside play ago. The quarterback around the left end. Now they're here with their fullback right up the middle.
Keel Watson on that last carry. First and 10 for the Trojans. I formation. There's the give to Watson again as he spins forward for about 5 yards.
This Trojan offense is doing a great job of keeping the Cooley defense off balance. They're mixing up their plays well as far as when they're going inside and going outside. They don't exactly know what to do. What they're going to do. What they're going to have to do is obviously just keep an eye on the ball and contain it and keep it inside. As you see, the replay again of the last play, getting upfield for about 3 or 4 yards.
And good blocking at the point of attack for the Trojan front line. Option. Black turning the corner. And he's close to another first down.
Black is the key to this whole Trojan offense. When Black goes, so does the offense. When he runs the ball, he's a threat. And obviously, when he hands the ball off and fakes, he's a threat. You got to be careful about an option quarterback. If he'll hand that ball off, then he'll come down the line pretending that he has the ball, and you're following him, and the fullback be up the field 15, 20 yards. You see Black getting the play from Coach Mike Marshall from the sideline.
Black was short of the first down. 3rd and 3, ball around the 40 of Cooley. Watson with the carry. I like Watson. He runs real hard in between the tackles.
The way a fullback should. North and south runner.
6:47 on the clock here in the second quarter of play. You're watching Comcast Cable and Detroit Public School League football. And there's your score. Henry Ford 8 and Cooley nothing. With this timeout, we'll take a timeout. We'll be right back with more exciting PSL action.
Dearborn Pontiac, the trials of car shopping.
So, is this the payment the salesman quoted your husband? Yes.
28 plays for the Henry Ford team and only 3 passes. Black on the option.
There's that quarterback Black again. Like I say, when you get him out here in the perimeter, he can be very, very dangerous. And they're still allowing him to get outside and turn upfield. This ball control offense by the Trojans is absolutely phenomenal. They've done what they wanted to do. They speed up the clock. They get a couple of more scores here. This game could be out of the way early because they're keeping the ball, and they're not letting Cooley Cardinals get the ball back and have an opportunity to score.
Some tough yardage inside right there. Some big hitting going on out there now.
At times, this Cooley defense is stepping up to the challenge. They're playing physical defense. They're just not containing the Trojan offense. They've made some big hits. They swarmed to the ball very well, as they showed down on Black's touchdown run. They get to the ball well, but they're just allowing them to get around the corner just a little bit too much. The Cardinal defense is not playing that bad. They're just not containing the Trojan offense.
First down and 10 for the Trojans. Here's the option. Black trying to stretch it out. Spins. Nifty move by Black that time, and flags on the play.
I guess it's going to be either probably a holding call. Well, this Cooley offense, this Cooley defense is not doing a good job by keeping Black or any of the skill people for the Henry Ford Trojans inside and containing them inside. As we see here with Black going down the sideline with the options. You see right there, trying to see if I can see the penalty.
Looks like maybe a clipping. Arnell Carmichael was downfield trying to block the safety.
Yeah, as we see the official walking the ball back against the Henry Ford Trojans, obviously some kind of holding or clipping penalty against them. There's some sigh of relief or some form of relief for the Cooley Cardinal defense.
Clipping was the call. .5-10 and counting. Black looking to pass. Slips on the play. And loses about 6 yards.
Black's down. He may be hurt. Hopefully he's just shaking up a little bit. Hopefully he won't be out of the game. Whereas it looks like he's getting up right now.
Maybe just a little fatigue.
Yeah, they've been on the field. This offense for Henry Ford has been on the field for quite some time, as well as the defense for the Cooley Cardinals. It's interesting how a defense get on the field and get a lot more tired than the offense. Is actually what it happens. It takes more energy to react. The offense can be on the field all day long and never get tired. The defense get on the field and they get tired because they have to react and they have to run a little bit harder because they may have thought one way and had to move another way, which takes a little bit more energy.
So Black will come out and just take a breather on the sideline there.
It appears he'll probably be back in the game very shortly.
Anytime you feature your quarterback as one of your primary runners, as well as your quarterback in the passing mode, but they only attempted 4 passes to this point in the game. But anytime you feature him as a runner, you can risk the possibility of him getting hurt.
Exactly. And it appears that when his backup back in there, it was like the Trojans weren't sure what they wanted to do on the offensive series with his backup quarterback in there, so they decided to go ahead and call a timeout and talk it over.
The defense, excuse me.
Sure, go ahead.
The defense of Detroit Cooley, like you said, hadn't played a bad game till this point.
They've been hanging in there. Other than not containing the ball very well, they've played a pretty physical game. They've got to do a better job of containing the football, which will allow them to maybe force the Trojans into a punting situation. But both teams have been running the ball an awful lot. Only have 4 minutes and 57 seconds left before halftime.
And that was Detroit Henry Ford's first negative yardage this game, and that's coming at the 4:57 mark here in the second quarter of play. I'd like to thank Terrell England of Detroit Cooley helping us out on stats here. And now the second string quarterback in. They go into the air. What an arm! Whoa! Oh boy, watch out!
I'm looking at the. I'm standing here looking at the sideline, and you see number 1 almost made a spectacular dive and catch. That was a great throw by the backup quarterback. It appeared here. The coaches are pretty upset about this play. Not that the pass was incompleted, but that he thrown to the wrong man. The receiver down here at the bottom of the screen was wide open. Personally, I think he should have caught the ball. It was a difficult catch. You may see the other receiver come across in your frame just a minute. No, we won't see it. I can see a nice ball in the air. It's a little bit overthrown. He has to stretch out and catch it. Now, I think my theory is if you get 2 hands on the ball, you should pull it in.
Black in the pass. That was off the hands of the intended receiver.
I think Black should have probably took a little bit of steam off that ball that time. He was running toward his target. And throwing the ball on the run, you get a lot more momentum on the ball, and very difficult pass to pull in.
That pass intended for Anthony Barksdale, off the hands of Barksdale, and that'll bring us to a 4th down. But watch out for the Trojans, because, hey, all the running they're doing and not really showing the pass, they really showed me something there. If that would have connected, that would have been a very big play.
And as well as their defensive played, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't go for it here. Albeit they have probably about 25 to 30 yards to go for a first down. You know, trying another play gives you another opportunity to try to either get a first down or a touchdown. But even if you don't even get the first down, you still move the ball back a little bit in the Cooley Cardinal territory.
Ronald Duncan back to receive this punt. A good punt. This one will go into the end zone, though. Too much leg on that one.
Nice punt.
So the Cardinals will take over at the 20-yard line with 4:33 remaining here in the second quarter. And maybe they can make some amends for the big play that they had in the first quarter with quarterback Williams sprinting down the sidelines for 42 yards, the one that was called back. Let's see how they approach it.
Cardinals haven't been on offense in quite some time. They need to get at least a couple of first downs to give their defense a rest.
Williams with the draw to Grubbs.
Good second and third effort by Grubbs. Sign of a quality back that does not go down off the first hit.
And Grubbs does not go both ways. Pretty sure the fine athlete that he is, if needed, he would, but he only plays offense.
Speaking of both ways, I did mention that the Cooley Cardinal offense hadn't been on the field in quite some time and maybe a little rusty. However, a lot of players on their offense are playing defense, so they may be a little bit winded, but maybe not rusty.
3:52 and counting. I formation for Cooley. Williams with the give to the first back through, has some room. And he has a first down. Nice, close to midfield.
Nice change of pace when you don't get the ball to Grubbs. There are some other skilled people on the Cardinal offense. Nice to see someone else carry the ball. One, to give Grubbs a break. Two, to show what Jason Barnett could do as a ball carrier. He picked up 15, 20 yards for a first down.
Ball is at the 39-yard line. High formation for the Cardinals. Here's the give to Grubbs. Grubbs, after picking up some good yardage, took a big hit that time from Arnell Carmichael.
So Grubbs got his one-play rest for the series. I'm quite sure he's going to have most of the bulk of the rest of the series. We see the replay. Grubbs quick hitting play up the middle. You see him stumbling, regain his balance, then takes a big hit by the Trojan defenders.
Second and 4. Grubbs trying to turn the corner. Does so. Picks up the first down. And Cooley trying to mount a drive here at 2:34 in the second. Be a great motivational lift for Detroit Cooley if they can get in the end zone here before halftime.
It would be, although they're only down by one touchdown, they haven't had a lot of opportunities on offense, and it appears that the lead is bigger than what it is. They're only down 8-0, but they haven't had the ball a lot, so it appears that they're down a lot farther than they really are.
Grubbs with the call again, trying to turn the right corner. Good pursuit that time. Now that Henry Ford defense, first man to the ball was Clarence Quinn, number 7. And Brooks, number 8.
The Cardinal offense is going to have to open it up a little bit more. I do believe at this point it's probably wise for them to realize that the Trojan defense is sitting there waiting for Grubbs. They need to get some short passes, some passes in the flat, a little bit more play action Grubbs like they have right there.
This time they faked to Grubbs, but the defense of Henry Ford was not fooled. as Brooks is shaking his head. It won't happen again, baby.
I'd like to see them stay away from Grubbs 3 or 4 plays in a row and see what kind of success they would have.
Third and 9, ball on the 49-yard line. 54 seconds on the clock. And I think the Cardinals waited a little too late to go into their 2-minute offense. Williams with pressure and is sacked.
Cardinals tried to run a screen play to Grubbs. What happened at that time is the Trojan defense assigned a defender to Grubbs. What you try to do with a screen plays, you try to draw all the defenders toward the quarterback and let everybody drop back into the secondary that's going in the pass coverage. However, what happened, you had a guy playing man on Grubbs, and when Grubbs tried to go into the flat, he had a defender on him. As you can see right here, see the quarterback, Williams dropped back in here into the flat like he's going to throw a pass downfield. He's looking downfield, and then Grubbs is going out into the flat, going to the screen. Well, Williams only has no one to throw to because there's a defender standing right there with Grubbs, so he didn't have any outlet, so he's therefore sacked in the backfield for a loss.
And Williams feeling the pressure from that Henry Ford front there. They had 3 men break through into the offensive backfield. A loss of 12 yards on the sack for Wiley Williams.
Puts the Cardinals in a punting situation here. Only 38 seconds left. Be interesting to see what they do here. I'm not sure if I wouldn't run a running play just to run the clock out. I'm not sure if I want to turn the ball over.
Bad
things
snap,
happen like that. Exactly.
Loose ball on the field and hits in there, and Cooley recovers, but the ball will go over to Henry Ford.
Exactly. The clock's going to stop on the change of possession. See, there's 38 seconds left. I'm going to go ahead and run a running play and let the clock run out. And that's what you run the risk of doing, trying to run a play such as a punt, turning the ball over, giving it back to the Trojan situation like that. As you can see, a very high punt from the center over the punter's head. He's got to run for it. And most of the punting team doesn't realize that the ball's been snapped over his head. One alert Cooley Cardinal player realizes what's taking place, runs back there and falls on the ball. Didn't matter anyway. Had he did not fall on the ball and Henry Ford had fallen on it, it still would have been Trojan ball. It was fourth down anyway.
So with the turnover, that puts the ball on the 14-yard line of Detroit Cooley. As we take a look at the band of Henry Ford getting ready to march on to the field. But the strategy for Cooley, I thought they might have gone into their 2-minute offense, and they didn't show it.
I would think so, because the clock had been running down, and what they were doing was still trying to ride through a horse Grubbs, which I agree that you want to do in certain situations, but I don't think less than a minute to go just before halftime, you want to grind the ball out. You want to try to open it up and try to get some kind of score before halftime.
I didn't see them reacting quickly enough. I just didn't see them moving to the line quick enough. I just didn't see it. I don't know.
Didn't have any sense of urgency that they were behind,
right,
and halftime was fast approaching.
20 seconds left here in the first half. And Henry Ford in good position to take it in once again. 8-0 your score. Henry Ford on top right now. And threatening. Quinn and Watson. Here's a pitch pass. Wide open in the end zone. This one's overthrown. But Arnell Carmichael was wide open.
Well, they got 3 more tries here. And Henry Ford is definitely trying to get another score before halftime.
You can look for Henry Ford possibly to go to the air every play in this series. 13 seconds on the clock. Split backfield. Black dropping back. Pressure from the backside. This one was thrown away.
Great pressure by the Cardinal defense. They haven't had that kind of pressure earlier today because, quite honestly, Henry Ford hasn't passed a great deal. They got great pressure in the backfield that time by number 9, Montele Johnson. Bent the corner, got upfield, and was able to cause that pass to kind of get away from Black, bring up a third down situation.
8 seconds on the clock. They'll try one more play. And it'll probably be 4 seconds on the clock, and they'll probably kick a field goal after that. What do you think?
The kicker was kicking pretty good in warm-up. I know I'd try it. Field goal kicker's going to probably come in handy late in the year.
Well, he's on the field right now. He's not going to wait till 4th down. Henry Ford takes another timeout. They'll talk it over.
They don't want to call them. This is a smart move. Go ahead. Although it's 8 seconds, you figure even one passing play inside the 20-yard line shouldn't take any more than 4 or 5 seconds. You don't want to take any chances. If you got enough time on the clock right now, let's go ahead and try to kick the field goal now. As I say, they'll probably go to the sideline, getting the huddle and running another play.
Well, we've seen that happen on several occasions in this early season. Teams passing up the opportunity to score.
Yes, they have. You don't want to have an opportunity to take points off the board. You got not.
Well, with your score, 8-0, Henry Ford getting ready to kick a field goal. It's 8 seconds on the clock. We'll be right back. Ford set to kick the field goal here.
One of the rare commodities in the public school system. Bad snap.
And this was blocked.
They better look up. That could be a touchdown. That could be a touchdown. Bad snap. Tremendous penetration by the defensive line of the Cooley Cardinals. Caused them to block that kick. Heads up by, I believe that was Black, the holder, realizing the ball was kicked. Had he not gotten up, the defender for Cooley caught that ball in stride and had a couple of blocks. As you can see right here, Black, the holder, ball was low. All the penetration had 4 people around the ball. They were able to block it. Black saw what was happening, took off for it. The defender caught it in stride, but he was able to tackle it before he could get going. Brings us to halftime. Exciting play to end the half on, Jeff.
Yes, it was. A very exciting play. The special teams having some problems, especially the long snapper. That's a difficult job to do. We'll talk about that when we come back. Folks, it's halftime. Your score, Detroit Henry Ford 8 and Cooley 0. When the ball goes into the end zone, you can't return it. So Cooley will get the ball at the 20-yard line. And what does Cooley have to do this second half, Stan?
I think use a little bit more imagination on offense. Grubbs is obviously their main man. There you can see him right there. But you got to get the ball in some other players' arms. You know, as you saw, Jason Barnett earlier had a nice game when everybody was looking for Grubbs. They gave the ball to Barnett. He got about 15, 20 yards up the field. Got to spread the ball out. Most of their pass plays have been long pass plays down the field. So 8, 10-yard passes to try to keep this Trojan defense off balance.
So Cooley will start this second half. Down by 8 points. Split backfield. Here's the give to Grubbs. Off the left side, Deion Grubbs picks up about 7 on the play.
I probably could have bet my house on who they will get the ball to start the second half with. Pretty big game there by Grubbs. Picked up about 6 yards around the left side.
Second and 5. Ball on the 25-yard line. I formation for the Cardinals. Grubbs, the workhorse again. Straight ahead and straight into the teeth of the Henry Ford defense.
And coming out of this second half, out of the locker room, when the Cardinals get the ball in the second half, they want to establish something offensively, so they have to make sure that they get at least a couple of first downs, show this Trojan defense that they made their adjustments at halftime, and come out and try to exploit their defense. Here we can see on the replay right here, Grubbs hitting up the middle there, twisting and turning, trying to get every little yard he can possibly get, because there haven't been a whole lot of room for him to run today. There's Grubbs. That's a short kind of back, kind of reminds of a Thurman Thomas type.
Third down and a long 2. Grubbs gets the call, trying to go outside. Excellent one-on-one tackle by Arnell Carmichael, who just came from nowhere and made the play on Grubbs.
Great pursuit by Henry Ford's defense. They stretched Grubbs out. They tried to get Grubbs on the perimeter and run around the corner. The defenders read that Grubbs was trying to go outside, and everybody just sprinted to where he wanted to go. You know, you're not going to really come behind him and tackle him from behind because he has great speed. What they tried to do was saw Grubbs was trying to go to the perimeter, tried to go there and meet him as they were tackling for a loss in the backfield. Brings up 4th down.
Cardinals in punt formation. Another high snap. This one going to the end zone. And it's a touchback. Excuse me, a safety.
Yeah, that's something that they obviously need to work on is their punting situation. They obviously need to change long snappers. If that's their best long snapper, they may need to try to quick kick it on 4th down, which that would bring the punter up a little bit closer and bring less degree of difficulty where he can at least get the ball off and kick maybe 15, 20 yards downfield. Is not exactly what you want out of a punter, but at least it keeps you from turning the ball over deep in your territory. You can see the replay here again. The long snapper snapped the ball at least 3 to 4 yards over the punter's head. Once the ball goes in the end zone, it's an automatic safety. You can't bring it out or run it out or anything like that. As you mentioned in high school, ball goes in the end zone, it's automatic dead ball.
That's Marcus McCreer, the punter, went over his head now.
Cooley defense trying to get fired up.
Yes, number 54, Vic Hollis, trying to fire up his defensive unit.
What it's going to take right about now. You go down there in his cover team and see what they're going to do.
A lot of folks don't realize that being a long snapper, because I just happened to be one in college, is a very difficult position to play. This is a good kick.
Yes, it is a good kick.
Carmichael gets it on the sideline, and he stopped right at the 48 or 49-yard line. The position of long snapper is not an easy job.
No, it's not. You have to snap the ball and get back and block 2 gaps, the gaps to your right and the gap to your left. But you got to make sure that the punter receives the ball right in his midsection so he can get the punt off in 1.2 to 1.5 seconds. That is not a very easy job to do. A lot of people understand it. If, as a lineman, you can be a very sound long snapper, you can very easily play a long time. That in itself will get you a college scholarship.
10-0 your score, and Henry Ford with the ball on the 48-yard line. 9:48 here, and there's the option. This guy has some skill.
Oh my. Oh my.
What a run.
That's one for the highlight film.
That is a highlight film.
And it appeared that they had him tackled for a loss in the backfield. That was great individual effort. That was great individual effort.
It looked like Marquise Wallace had been stopped several times, and he put on his tap shoes and danced through the hole, and man, Stanley.
You know we're going to show you that one again. We can see Black coming down the line with the option. You lose the camera right there for a minute. He catches it. He avoids one tackle right there. Avoids another one right there. I want to count that. He's already beat 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. And now he breaks into the open. Great individual effort.
That young man has skill.
Folks, you won't see that done very often. That is one tremendous run by Marquise Wallace.
Marquise Wallace, 48 yards and a touchdown for Detroit Henry Ford. And Ford takes the timeout.
That was electrifying.
Yes, it was. Many weapons for the Henry Ford Trojans. I think that was only Marquise Wallace, his only second carry or third carry of the game. Well, with this timeout, we're going to take a timeout. We will be right back. 16-0 your score. By Detroit Henry Ford. After that nifty little run by Marquise Wallace, he takes over the rushing title in this game. 2 carries, 53 yards.
That safety by Henry Ford kind of helps him for the lack of not getting that extra or that 2-point conversion. Brings the score to 16-0. I don't know if I want to call it bad tackling or just an outstanding run by Wallace. I don't want to take anything away from Wallace because actually a lot of people didn't even have an opportunity to get their hands on him because the people had broke down to make tackling. It was good football tackling positions. I'm talking about Cooley's defense. But the moves that Wallace put on those folks, they didn't even have an opportunity to lay a helmet or shoulder pad on him.
The big play for Detroit, Henry Ford. And Mike Marshall has his team clicking now on all cylinders. 16-0 your score. Duncan gets it inside the 5-yard line, running straight ahead, and gets to the 30. They'll probably mark it right around the 29 or so. So let's see if Cooley becomes a little bit more creative offensively and go to some of the other options because to this point, the Henry Ford defense has only rendered 34 yards to Deion Grubbs.
And the Henry Ford offense has done an excellent job of possessing the ball. This is still early in the second half. However, I think Cooley's offense need to be concerned and need to start picking up the pace and having a sense of urgency that they have to get an end zone right away.
Williams trying to get outside. Grubbs, they're going to... Pursuit was definitely there. Henry Ford doing a good job in stringing out the offense once again of Detroit Cooley.
Trademark of the Henry Ford Trojan defense, not very big, but very aggressive and will fly to the ball. They had 3 or 4 ball carriers in the back, 3 or 4 defenders in the backfield on the ball carrier. They're not very big on defense. What they do is they pursue to the ball very, very well.
And here's a team that, you know, a lot of people, when you speak of Henry Ford, here's a team that a lot of people never really count on early in the season. They just have to wait and see.
Exactly. Well, they're not very exciting. They have great players year in and year out, but they're not a very exciting team. They're not real flashy. They get the job done. And that's all they do is just get the job done. They're very basic on offense, and they're very basic on defense. They just pursue to the football. As you can see right there,
a reverse attempt as Williams is trying to give the ball to Duncan, coming back around. And once again, the defense of Henry Ford in the backfield of Cooley.
That Henry Ford defense is just tremendous. They're putting constant pressure on this Cooley offense. The Trojan defense has been constantly in the backfield. They've disrupted plays. They're calling Cooley to start to panic here on offense. When you got a team starting to go to their reverse, that means they're starting to go to way in the back of the playbook, starting to look to find something that's going to be successful.
That was a look at the sideline of Detroit Cooley and Gary Sharp. 3rd down and 15 for the Cardinals. Williams almost picked off right through the hands of Brooks, the linebacker, in the right place at the right time, but didn't have the stick on his hands.
Now, what does Cooley like to do? Are they going to try to punt it again, or are they going to punt the ball and snap the ball in the end zone for another safety? It appears that they're going to try it again. I'm not sure if I don't just go for it here on 4th down.
So Cooley has already had 2 punts snapped over his head. This is a good one, but the kick is not that good. The punt will give Henry Ford some excellent field position as the ball rolls out, and it'll be marked at the 49-yard line.
I think he caught the punter by surprise. He didn't expect such a good snap. It hit him right in the midsection where it should. He had gotten his rhythm off of punting. He didn't get a good punt off at all.
Took a Cooley bounce, though.
At the ball was somewhere in midfield.
Detroit Henry Ford gets the ball back here at 6:54.
I'm not sure if Henry Ford had 3 downs and punt any time today thus far. It's about time that's what Cooley's defense going to have to do is just kind of stop them on on first down, which will allow them to not be very productive or not have a long way to go on second down. Henry Ford has been so productive on first down, they did what exactly they wanted to do on second and third down. So if Cooley can make a tremendous stop or stop for a loss on first down, he's in a better position to cause them to have punt within the next 2 or 3 downs.
Arnell Carmichael leaving a little too soon. They'll mark off 5 yards against the Trojans.
The team is ahead, but you don't want to fall asleep. The Carmichael obviously not paying attention to the snap count.
Coming into the ball game right now. And Henry Ford, as Carmichael comes out, they get a replacement for him right away. Marshall didn't hesitate right there.
That's a sign of a disciplinarian. You cannot get in the game and fall asleep. Mistakes, mental mistakes, are something that teams and good coaches will not tolerate. If you're out there and you're not mentally into the ball game, then you shouldn't be there.
1st and 15. Marquise trying to turn the corner. Looks like a flag on the play. May have been a clipping.
And then around to Marquise Wallace. So we have the replay right here. You see Marquise came in motion, caught the pitch from Black. Marquise has got good speed, had a couple of blockers out front of him, but as I mentioned, that Cooley's defense needs to step up and get some tackle for losses as they did right there, along with getting a penalty, starting to push the Henry Ford offense back. This is even better than the great punt. They started out right about midfield. Now they're inside their own 40-yard line.
Holding was the call. It's still first down, but now first down and 20. Ball on the 39-yard line of Detroit Henry Ford. Black rolling out, and that pass intended for Anthony Barksdale, and broken up by number 22, DeCarlo Gaston.
This series could give the Cooley Cardinals tremendous lift. What they don't want to do is allow the Henry Ford Trojans to get it anywhere near first down. They got them pinned back. You want to make sure that you keep them there. You don't want to overcommit. You want to keep them back there. A defensive stand right here could gain some momentum for the Cooley Cardinals.
6:41 here in the third quarter. If you're just joining us, it's exciting PSL action here on Comcast Cable TV 6. And pressure up the middle as the blitzing linebacker is Donald Snipes. No relation to Wesley, but he did break through there and get through to the quarterback.
Cardinal defense starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Got some heat on Black, was able to sack him. This is about what they need. With 6:14 left to go in the third quarter. You can't wait too much longer to start making a move. Getting pressure on the quarterback is one way. Get your team fired up. Here we see on the replay right here. You see Black here going back for the pass. You see pump fake right there. As you can see, Cooley defender. They brought in strong safety Donald Snipes in for the sack. And at this point in the game, the Cooley defenders are going to have to take some gambles right now.
And that's exactly what they're doing by blitzing their strong safety on that last play. So Wesley Snipes comes up with a big sack and moves the Henry Ford Trojans back. Second down and 30 and 5:41 on the clock. And Coach Mike Marshall wants to talk it over.
It's a big play for him. You got to try to figure out what the Cooley defense is going to do. Are they going to blitz again? Are they going to punt, try to play it safe? Be careful about what play you want to run right here. What you don't want to do, you're starting to back up a little bit more. You don't want to give Cooley any kind of momentum defensively or offensively to put him back in the game. They haven't played well offensively thus far, but only take but a score or two and you're back in the ball game.
So Henry Ford, known as a ball possession team, can really eat the time off the clock and not going in this direction, quite obviously. But the Trojans, who's had some success over the years in making the state tournament and making the state run that for the big state prize, the big state championship trophy. always makes the state tournament. And, you know, this thing is based on points in the point system.
I'm not sure if I like that. I just think the teams who win and play and go undefeated with the schedule that had been presented to them, that they should go to the state playoffs. This Henry Ford team, coached by Mike Marshall, has done an outstanding job over the years since he's been head coach, has not gotten a lot of publicity, has done what they needed to do. They're not a very flashy team. They just flat out get the job done.
Offset T formation. Here's another reverse. Parnell Carmichael with a little room. Some nifty feet. But good defense that time by the Cardinals. They defended that very, very well.
Double reverse by Henry Ford. You don't see too many double reverses, let alone a single reverse. I think one of the keys to stopping that play right there was Jason Barnett on defense. As you can see right here on the replay, you see Black come up on the center. He hands off to Wallace. He comes back to Carmichael, and you can see right here where Barnett is able to dive in and get Carmichael off balance for the other Cooley defenders to come in and make a tackle. He brings up a fourth down situation, and Henry Ford's going to punt.
And I believe this is Henry Ford's first time punting in this ball game. Looked like some movement in the interior line. A terrible kick. And they let it bounce. The up man, number 21, Jonathan Williams, had a good opportunity to catch the ball. They would have had even better field position than that, but he decided to let it go.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, as a punt returner, you must field the football, either to run it or to fair catch it. You want to keep your team in good field position. Field position is very important in a game like this.
That was Henry Ford's second punt of the game. So they've been pretty much dominating this one on the ground with the ball control.
My hope is for this first play for the Cooley Cardinals, they don't give it to Deion Grubbs.
You got some money? You want to put some money on that one?
No, not in your life.
I formation for the Cardinals. Here's a give to Deion Grubbs, testing the left side of the line. And Grubbs is out of bounds. And we'll take a look at the halftime stats. There they are. As you can see, the dominance by Detroit Henry Ford, 182 total yards. First downs are even.
Isn't that ironic how Henry Ford has 0 yards passing?
0 yards passing.
And able to be that dominant on offense?
I believe only 4 pass attempts in the first half.
That's a tribute to the Henry Ford offensive line, so they could run the ball that effectively, so they could still dominate the time of possession and the scoreboard.
Second down and 5 for the Cardinals. Quarterback sneak by Williams. Not much on that one. Maybe a gain of about 2 or 3.
Sure, is that the kind of play you want to run this late in the game on second down?
After the first half that just went by in micro time, this game has really slowed up, and maybe to the favor of Detroit Cooley.
Yeah, I would say, because time is definitely not on their side. They need as much time as they can to try to get here on the scoreboard quickly, try to make a game of it.
Penalty flags on the field. Somebody might have lined up in the zone. They're going to walk it off against Henry Ford. Against the defense. Someone lined up in that neutral zone. High school football has really changed over the years, and we've talked about it on numerous occasions. And here are 2 teams in the city of Detroit that have produced some outstanding talent. And I agree with you about the system in which they have on the point system. Somebody's going to get left out. Last year, Catholic Central got left out.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair.
Grubbs showing his talents, trying to get outside, and does.
Nice run by Grubbs, but as advice being an ex-running back, I keep those people off my body. He's taking too much punishment on his body. Not a very big back, and you don't want to have those hits add up over the years. You want to either lower that shoulder or stiff on those guys and keep them off your body. As you can see a replay here. Grubbs is bouncing the ball outside. He's got very quick feet where he can move. All those are tough, strong run in his lower body. You don't want people coming up taking shots like this on your legs. Your leg is where you make your money and you earn your living. You don't want people running up there like that. Do a better job of keeping people off his body.
3:10 on the clock. After that first down. Ball on the 46-yard line. And dirty laundry all over the field. After that one, here's the call. Legal procedure against the offense. Someone forgot what the count was.
Cannot afford to have that at this juncture in the ball game. You have to be middle into the game. The margin for error is greatly reduced when you're down 16-0 and it's less than a half to play in the ball game.
Ball on the 49-yard line. Second down and 15 for the Cardinals. And the Cardinals want another timeout. As you saw, the linebacker number 8 just jump into the gap. And it's probably confusing to the offensive line of Detroit Cooley when you look up and you see guys in a 4-3 or a 5-2, and all of a sudden you got 8 men on the line of scrimmage defending, of course, against the run. Your score, Henry Ford 16 and Cooley 0. We'll be right back after this. Down and 15 for Cooley. Whistles blow again. Looks like another illegal procedure against Cooley. Let's see. Here's the call. So they walk off 5 more. Cooley's going in the wrong direction now.
Yes, they are, after having Henry Ford's offense pinned back there, getting the ball over and downs and getting a punt. They've not been able to have any success on offense in moving the ball towards Henry Ford's goal line.
So difficult to prepare kids nowadays for big ball games. What do you think about that?
Too many distractions in the streets now. Too many kids don't realize what's going on.
Williams going deep and throwing into coverage. Wide receiver Gerald Walterding was triple coverage.
I don't want to take anything away from all of the football players in the PFL, but I do remember in the day where it was an honor and a privilege to be on the team, to have a uniform, to go to practice, to represent your school, your city, your recreation center. It was so important to be on the team. You still have some guys who are very dedicated and do a good job, and you still have some guys who do play on the team, but had too many other outside interests that don't benefit the team or the school.
Second down and 20. Short pass. Almost picked off in an air. Brooks finally got one. He held on to that one. If you recall, he missed one that went right through his hands in the first half, but he didn't let this one get away. The fish that didn't get away.
There's about 3 or 4 people who touched that football on that play. Let's watch this replay here. It's good concentration. As you can see, the quarterback Williams dropped back for a pass, tried to throw a quick hook over the middle. Ball hits 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 74 finally pulled the ball in. Great play.
great concentration to stay with that one.
Exactly.
Because he was sitting on the ground when he finally corralled the loose pigskin. So Cooley turns it over here at the 2-minute mark, approaching the 2-minute mark. It's 2:28 here in the third quarter.
That's a penalty. I thought that was a penalty. You had the slot man come and set. He shifted out to the slot, but before he got set, you saw the man come in motion after an illegal shift. Before a man goes in motion, everyone else on the field must be set for at least 1 second before he goes into motion.
And you see a lot of those mistakes when you incorporate a lot of that motion into your offense. As Black is breaking it down and explaining it to him, you can't do that.
Exactly.
And they'll walk off 5 yards against the Trojans. At what year in high school did you realize that preparation was the key and you had to go to 7 practice to really develop your skill? As the give to Watson, we hadn't called his name too much this second half. I believe that's his first carry of the second half. That's the big fullback.
Yeah,
we saw a lot of him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that was his first carry. I realized that early on, probably my first week of playing organized football at Kettering High School. I was fortunate enough to play with my older brother and a number of seniors on the team who had won before. A lot of those guys had been part of an earlier Kettering championship, so they knew what it meant to prepare for a game and for a season. So I learned quite early that you had to prepare to play.
Minute 49 on the clock. The slot man in motion, coming right at you. Black with a quick turn, looking across the middle for the tight end. Very good play. That one will catch a lot of people by surprise right there.
That one sure will, because they haven't thrown the ball over the middle in the 15, 20-yard area all day long. Black put a nice grip on it. I thought it should have been caught. Wasn't really handled, but they almost intercepted as well.
Only the 5th pass attempt for Henry Ford this game. And still, no yardage through the air.
They've not had to pass the ball today. As we see the replay right here, Black 3-step drop turn and attempts to hit the tight end over the middle, but the ball's not hauled in, almost an interception.
Black turning the corner, flag on the play, may have been a clip.
Yeah, I saw it there in the back there. Actually, the last guy who was the ball intended last receiver for the Henry Ford Trojans was the one who committed the clip. Was the one who committed the clip right there. So you can see it right here. You can see it committed right there. That's where we have the clip or the hit in the back. Hence the flags come up
and they happen in a bad spot, right in front of the official.
Right in front of the official. Not the place where you want to commit a clip.
No walk off. 15 yards against the Trojans for the clip. Minute 29 here in the third quarter.
They call blocking below the waist. Blocking below the waist is legal anywhere on the field. What you can't do is there's a box area that's 3 yards on either side of the ball, 5 yards from the ball. If you're not lined up in that area before the ball snaps, you cannot come from outside that box, enter into the box, and block someone below the waist. You can block below the waist if you're already lined up in there, but if you're not in there, you can't come outside and in and block someone below the waist.
Black looking downfield for Carmichael and overthrows him.
Black obviously threw that one just to avoid the sack. You got to be careful because Carmichael was not open. The Cooley defenders were well back there waiting for Carmichael to go deep.
So the specialty teams back on the field for Detroit Henry Ford. There's a look. Here's the replay.
The Black trying to hit Carmichael deep, but as you can see back there, got the defenders for the Cooley Cardinals sitting back there waiting for him. Ronald Duncan in particular.
And Duncan back deep to receive this kick. 4th down and 30. High kick this time.
Excellent punt.
Duncan gets it after 35 and nowhere to go.
Not really sure where the wall was supposed to be set up. He went one way, came back the other way, and realized there was no way to go. Picked up about 5 or 6 yards on that return.
There's a look at Ronald Duncan. Dad is a baseball coach over at Detroit Benedictine. And I understand he's a fine baseball player himself.
Quite sure when Dad's the coach, it's not very hard to go into the next room or stick your feet under the dinner table and acquire knowledge.
33 seconds on the clock. Now the Cardinals go to the option. Nobody out in front of Deion Grubbs that time. But Deion Grubbs lowered his shoulder and lowered the boom on the defender.
Here we can see the replay. It's getting to the point where it's not real fair to Deion Grubbs. You can see the option right there. Had 2 men on the quarterback. Now you got 3 tacklers on Grubbs. The play selection has not been really fair to Grubbs. He's trying to carry the workload and he's still running hard. However, he's got to have some help somewhere. And
still down is, I believe that's number 1 or number 2. Is that number 3? Can't make out the number.
He's on the sideline, so they're going to go ahead and run the play.
Grubbs straight ahead for the Cardinals. Back to the original line of scrimmage.
Grubbs' help is going to have to come from the play selection. He's not getting any good plays called, nor are they putting any diversity in their plays or any variations to get the ball to other people.
The player that was injured on the play is number 3, Marquise Wallace. That's the gentleman who made that nifty run for Henry Ford, that 48-yard scamper. And he's down on the sideline still after making some contact with Deion Grubbs. And another player for Henry Ford down now. Looks like Marquise has some cramps in the legs.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
At this juncture in the ball game, I'd be willing to bet that Coach Mike Marshall, with those players that may be banged up, you don't know how serious, get some substitutions and some backup players with the game well in hand, 16 zip. I'm going to go and get those guys a rest, give them an opportunity to start healing for next week.
And there's Arnell Carmichael getting some tape around the ankles. And one of the trainers, one of the coaches on the sideline. A lot of the players fatigue settling in because most of them really go both ways here.
Most of them do. That's one thing about high school ball. You don't get a lot of rest if you're a pretty competitive or talented player. Coaches got to have you on the field at all times, or at least as much as possible.
Kind of a run and shoot formation for the Cardinals. Whistles blow. And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. So at the end of the 3rd quarter, your score: Detroit Henry Ford 16 and Cooley 0.
Football in Texas. The games are always played at night. They're always under the lights. And a minimal, you'll get 5,000 people at the game. The parents are able to come out and watch. The teams play in fields that look like the junior college or small college stadium. The high school game of the week played in the Astrodome in Houston. You seat 40 or 50,000 people there. It's just tremendous. And the rich history of football in Texas goes straight through the Pee Wee level, through high school to junior high, all through the Pee Wee level. And it's amazing to get the support that all levels of high school get in the state of Texas.
I know, hey, at the end of the high school football season, you always see the Texas State Championship football game, and that's shown nationwide.
And it's played in Texas Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play. It's big time down there, and they make sure that they do a good job with it. Michigan football is just catching up, though. I think we're getting a little bit more serious about the amount of funding we're putting into high school sports, football in particular.
Here's the draw to Deion Grubbs, and he went down in a hurry. Good tackle by number 5, Anthony Barksdale. So for the most part, the Henry Ford Trojans have done a good job in containing Mr. Grubbs.
Yes, they have. They've done an excellent job. You can see Grubbs here on the draw play. Where why would Henry Ford's defense be fooled by a draw play to Grubbs when you have him passed all day long? Of course, Deion Grubbs is going to get the ball because you can give it to him all day. He's going to probably have close to 25 carries here.
Official timeout as the head official is pointing to the sideline. I don't know what he's indicating there. But, he's changing the down marker probably. It's 4th down and 4. And here we go. Start the clock. Long back in the backfield is Deion Grubbs. Henry Ford didn't have enough men on the field. Looked like some movement in the offensive line, but going through number 8, big linebacker Brooks making the sack.
How do you have a man come in off the sideline late, not really know what defense you're in, and you're still not able to block it? You can see the replay right here. They had a lineman come in awfully late, but they had the blitz called on, as you can see, where nobody picked up 2 of the safeties blitzing in from the secondary for Henry Ford. Cooley's really in a bad situation now, and they have no points on the board. It is 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. The time is running out on them.
I want to know your opinion about the state of Florida also. I know you might have had the opportunity to see some football in that state. And, they do a thing down there in the spring that's very big. Do you think something like that could catch on here in the state of Michigan?
I sure hope it does. A lot of times, when you get people who are constantly producing top quality athletes, some of the athletes that are in the NFL that are from the state of Florida is absolutely astounding. Sports Illustrated, just about 7 or 8 years ago now, did a cover of all the players in the NFL that were from the state of Florida. Well, I'm not talking about guys who had just made it. And I was talking about from the Emmitt Smiths to the Anthony Carters to the James Jones to the Lomas Browns. I'm talking about top flight players in the NFL that come from the state of Florida. Michigan has players of that caliber, but we don't bring them up right. We don't have quality little league systems. We don't have quality programs, quality clinics, and enough quality coaches to make sure our players are being trained properly. But with Dr. Snead, it's getting better.
It's getting much better. Movement from the offense. Legal procedure as the offense of Cooley just can't seem to get it together. Had a big break with the penalty, but they got an automatic 1st down, but now they begin to go in the opposite direction once again.
Going from bad to worse for the Cooley Cardinals. They look forward to have that happen. You see Grubbs coming back into the huddle to the right of your picture.
The Cardinals, I said in the last 14 years, have only beaten Henry Ford once.
It's an amazing statistic.
That victory was last year. More movement.
And see, now what you have is frustration starting to set in with Cooley's team. The lack of concentration is starting to fall. They're not paying attention to the huddle. I guarantee there's probably some grumbling going on in the huddle and some finger pointing, and you can't do that. Although I think Henry Ford has his game well in hand, if Cooley can score quickly and muster up a couple of tough defensive series, they can be back in the ball game very quickly.
And that's the 5th illegal procedure call against the Cardinals. 9:52 in the 4th, if you're just joining us. It's Detroit Public School League football here on Comcast Cable TV 6. And this time, no secret to who was going to get that one, as the Henry Ford defense just, seemed like he had something on his back there. It was a Henry Ford Trojan.
Here's a replay of another off-tackle play to Grubbs. The play calling is the same and the results is the same. If I was Grubbs, I have a long talk with whoever's calling the play, or even try to put a bug in my quarterback's ear. I know what play was called, but can you audible out to another play?
Now they go to a split backfield. Receivers, or one receiver split to the left. Here's the give to Grubbs. And it's just like a magnet. Whoa! A big hit that time. As you can hear the noise from the field, number 21 stepping up and making a big hit with some assistance from the quarterback, Shaun Black.
Here's a replay coming up, and if I can give any advice to Grubbs, as you can see, Grubbs here right now got this hand up and going toward the sideline. Got to get his shoulders turned upfield so he can have some power and momentum, so he don't have to take this kind of punishment. He's taking too much punishment. He does not have to take that kind of punishment. Although there's not a whole lot of blocking for him, there's not a lot of room to run in. He does not need to take the kind of punishment that he's taking out there.
8:15 on the clock. Split backfield for the Cardinals. Williams rolling under pressure. And that was incomplete. Ryan Johnson in the booth up here. We talked about some great ball players that come out of the Detroit area. That's one right there. Ron Johnson up in the booth.
Ron Pee Wee Johnson, Eastern/King High School. I'm sorry, Northwestern High School.
Slash.
Eastern Michigan.
Slash.
The university, Eastern Michigan University and the Pittsburgh Steelers was a cohort of mine in the AFC Central, played it twice a year every year.
Almost another bad snap. Gets off a decent kick. Arnell Carmichael splitting a couple defenders on the kick return team. Watch out. That one almost fell due.
Very tough defender. Very, very tough kick returner. He was fearless. He caught the ball. He split two defenders. Tempers are flaring a little bit, as well expected this junction of the ball game. Cooley's frustrated.
Watch out, because it might be a flag, and the Cooley captain doing a good job right there of controlling the team. That's Marcus Clear.
Doing an excellent job.
Get back to your sideline.
Two defenders. He bounced off the tackle, kept his feet going, and Carmichael got a field. Good punt return by Carmichael. Bad tackling by Cooley.
And you don't want to go over into the opposing team's bench.
It's the wrong place to start.
To start something.
The wrong place to start a fight.
Nothing your score. The Trojans on the 46-yard line. Their own 46. And they have been doing a good job in ball control. Here's the give to number 11 out the backfield. And that's Moyer on the carry.
The coach Marshall getting some of his backup some playing time.
I think that's the first time Moyer has touched the pigskin this contest.
That's a sign that Coach Mike Marshall feels he's got the game in hand. Get some of his backup some quality playing time in case there's injury or something comes up where they have to play him in a big game.
Also, he's looking down the road to next week. Some of the future opponents as far as making sure everybody's healthy going into next week.
Exactly.
Whistles blow it down. No fumble on the play there. And Shaun Black, quarterback, on the keeper, trying to get outside.
I'd like to see that backup number 13 in it again. He threw a nice ball when he overthrew him earlier. And then he gets back in the game, and you see the replay. Black rode the fullback on the option, came down the sideline, but Cooley got some penetration in the backfield. We're able to tackle him for a loss. Brings up a third down situation.
When you take a look at the rest of the Cooley schedule, they have Redford, McKenzie, and Cody coming up, and Henry Ford has Northwestern, Cooley and Henry coming up. Here's a reverse attempt. He lost the handle at first, and now he's driven out of bounds right around the 50-yard line. We'll call it the 49. The carry, other carry, was Anthony Barksdale, number 5.
Here you see a replay of Barksdale. They ran kind of a reverse. You see Black pivot out, take the hand off, and give it to end around to Barksdale, who fumbled it. He got a kind bounce. The ball came back up and right into his arm. He was able to gain it and get some positive yards up the sideline.
.4:43 on the clock. 4th down for the Trojans. Mike Marshall sensing victory here. Calls another timeout. This is a big play for the Trojans, actually, especially if they can control the ball for the rest of the game. Get a first down, control the ball for the rest of the game. Look for them to go to the air, though, on this 4th down play if they decide to not punt. Punter in there. Yes. Oh, the punter is in there. No, he's not. Okay.
He's not in there.
He's not in there. Oh, yes, he is. My bad. So the punter.
Yeah.
They took too much time.
Yeah, they were in the huddle for quite some time.
They got 3 guys there. I saw something really creative, and I think a lot more coaches should even try this. I was watching a game with Brother Rice, and Al Picasso told me he had problems with his long snap, and what he did was put the quarterback on 4th down, right underneath the center, and all the quarterback did was turn and pitch it back to the punter, and that's how they got their punts off without any long snaps going over the head or falling short.
That was very creative, because one thing you knew that the quarterback was going to hit the man where he's supposed to hit him, and it still was able to accomplish the goal, which was obviously getting the punt off.
So only 2 penalties in the first half, and the penalties have been mounting up in the second half of play here. And that's one of the things that has really slowed this game down. Here's the call by the official. Illegal procedure against the offense. They'll walk off 5 yards against the Trojans. 4th down and 14.
And it's not going to sit real well with Coach Mike Marshall. Although his team is in command and holding a strong lead, you don't want to get sloppy and start having unnecessary penalties.
Good cut by Whiteman. Takes a bounce in front of Duncan. He paid for that one for dropping it.
It happens when you don't do a good job of fielding the punt.
Special teams are very important, and I think a lot of times, a lot of teams get away from it on the high school level because you just don't have a lot of time to work on everything you need to work on. And you don't see a lot of teams really spending a lot of time on their special teams.
No, they don't. They, and in fairness to some situations, they don't have a whole lot of time to work on some of the things they need to work on. So you got to have organized practice where there's not a lot of standing around and not a lot of time between drills, where you can be more efficient in your practices to work on every phase of the game.
Williams dropping back to pass, feeling the pressure, rolling out to his right. And once again, the Henry Ford defense stepping up. That time Henson on the stop for Henry Ford.
Here's a replay. See Williams dropping back. It appeared that they were trying to set up a screen to Grubbs on the right. Grubbs went out to the flat, but obviously, as he has all day, had a lot of company out there. You can see Grubbs right there, the pitcher. Nothing's working right for the Cooley Cardinals offense this afternoon. .330 and counting here in the 4th quarter of play. The
Detroit Henry Ford in command, 16-0 over Cooley. Cooley with the ball. Williams dropping back. Nobody up when he tucks it, and nowhere to go as Brooks, the first player to the ball.
Again, he looked toward Grubbs' way like he wanted to hit Grubbs in the flat, as you can see right here on the replay that's coming up. What Henry Ford has done is they assigned one person to follow Grubbs all day long. As you can see right there, it's number 2, Keel Watson. He's following Grubbs all the way in the flat, which doesn't give quarterback Williams any outlet to throw to, so he had to tuck the ball under and try to get what he could, which was not very much.
It's almost like a match-up defense. You know, hey, you check him all day long. You one-on-one on Grubbs.
Exactly, just like basketball. Play man-to-man. Wherever he goes, you stay with him.
2:32 on the clock. Here's another draw to Grubbs. And once again, the defense of Henry Ford has keyed in on Mr. Deion Grubbs. He hasn't been able to display that 220 or that 100-yard or that 40-yard speed that has blazed so many tracks all over the state of Michigan.
And with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the game, I don't think he's going to have opportunity to do it today either. Because they have not given him any room to run. No lanes, no alleys, no creases, or anything in the defense to allow Deion Grubbs to exploit his speed into the secondary of the Henry Ford Trojans.
154 and counting. And Cooley offensively just hadn't been able to get in gear. They'll probably go back to the drawing board. Good snap this time. And Carmichael will field this one right around the 35. Looking for some help. Good block right there. 2 good blocks that freed Carmichael down the sideline.
I'd like to see that again, because I don't think that was a clip. I thought that was pretty close. I thought the head was around on the front side.
And the quarterback, as you can see, Shaun Black put the block on the punt coverage team to free Carmichael around the end. And you're right.
Very unique trait in the quarterback to go down there and lay a hit on like that on somebody. Usually your quarterback is the last person on the field who wants to have any contact. But you see Black went down there and, what they say, laid the wood on a guy.
They're going to walk this one off. I hope we get an opportunity to see that one again. And we'll see exactly where his helmet was. Oh, offsetting penalties.
Wow.
A clip on the receiving team. And here it is again.
Carmichael fielding it. I don't know if we'll be able to catch it in the sights of our cameras coming right there. Didn't quite see the big hit. But it occurred right there as Carmichael had just turned the ball and turned upfield with his clip. And I'm not really sure what the penalty was on the kicking team to call offsetting penalty. We'll replay it down and we'll do it again.
Cooley doesn't have enough players on the field as the punter, number 60, Marcus McGreer, cites that and alertly calls a timeout. Coach Gary Sharp talking to his players during this timeout. Now, going back to the drawing board, obviously Cooley has to go back, talk this over during the week, make sure that they clean up some things.
They got to get more imagination in the offense. They can't be Grubbs left, Grubbs right, Grubbs up the middle. The team's obviously keen on Deion Grubbs. He's their workhorse. He's a very, very talented player with a lot of speed. He's going to require a lot of attention. That's where you got to be a little bit more imaginative, have a little more versatility in your offense to get other people to football. Deion Grubbs is a very fine player, but I'm quite sure you got some other people back there like Jason Barnett, who are very capable players of making big plays and getting you some first downs to take the pressure off Grubbs and allow your offense to be a little bit more unpredictable and be a bit more successful.
Jason Barnett, 1 carry.
And I believe that carries for a first down as well.
1 carry this entire ball game. Here's a good snap and a good punt. You can tell when it's a good punt when that nose is up. And Carmichael lets this one bounce, and it takes a roll in favor of the Cardinals, and they'll mark it right at the 25-yard line of the Henry Ford Trojans.
See, Carmichael will have to sit on my bench after that play. See, you get in the habit of allowing him to do that in the game when the game's under control, and he does that in the big game. They lost 25 yards from where the ball hit, and that's a tremendous loss in field position. You cannot do that. You must field the punt.
So 1 minute and 5 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Henry Ford will start at the 25-yard line. And the clock is running. Henry Ford, what does Mike Marshall tell his players now?
Ball control, fundamental, keep your head in the game. Don't get lax, get out there and get hurt.
Taking it to next week for preparation after watching this game film here. Not much to change, though.
You also want to tell your team to keep the ball in bounds so the clock can run out. You want to run out of bounds 24 seconds left in the game.
On the carry, that was Anthony Barksdale. And you're right, keep the ball in play. Here it is again.
See Barksdale right here getting the handoff from Black. They kind of ran into each other. They had a little, the timing and the rhythm was off a little bit. See Barksdale bounce. Well, you did a good job of bouncing, but you want to make sure that you leave yourself enough room where you can be tackled in bounds and not get forced out of bounds.
2nd and 2. Another first down for the Trojans, and 17 seconds on the clock. This is PSL action right here on Comcast Cable TV 6. Stanley Edwards, I'm Jeff Lowe. And this one is in the record books. The Trojans defeat the Cardinals 16-0. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with some final thoughts from Stanley and myself.